Okay, everybody, my name is Jeremy, and this is Java 2 Week 1. Um, didn't think this week was going to be tough, but got thrown a few curveballs this week, and several errors on my code, and I couldn't move forward as fast as I wanted to. My application is still not completed, even with this extension. So, the application at the moment, it will go ahead and grab the data, it will save the data, and it can read the data. It cannot populate the list view. For the life of me, I spent the last 12 hours today trying to figure out where I can go ahead and call this method from. Either a different class, a different method from the onCreate. I keep getting the same error. The error I actually get is down here at the bottom. System services not available to activities before onCreate. And here was my last shot at it of where I can go ahead and call the main, or the load quake list is what I call that method. And we can see down here on my onCreate, and then I have all my dialogues. Then I have the method to go ahead and call the service call, so that it starts the services, and the status for the actual status part at the very top, which is basically the list view header. It actually stays put, so it doesn't scroll up and down, because there's a lot of data that you can pull down, and I don't want the user to have to scroll up 300 lists just to see exactly what they were looking at. So it stays there constantly. So we got here my load quake list. This is the one that it will run through, but I keep getting an error when it gets to this section right here. When it actually tries to populate the list view, it crashes on me. Everything else runs smooth. I can even get this data listed system output on there. Well, with that being said, let's go ahead and check out my project. Did work a little bit on the UI this week. Had some downtime, played with some Photoshop and changed the buttons around, changed the UI a little bit. As I was making progress, but then I got thrown this curveball at the very end. So my list view is not working, and it is not a custom list view as you can see here. It is a plain basic list view, as I just wanted to get it to work before I could move forward and customize it. So let's go ahead and take a look at my application. So you can see here, it should automatically load the past day with all earthquakes. You go ahead and click on there. You can go ahead and click on the past hour, and you can see it will go ahead and start. It'll go ahead and write it successfully, and it'll go ahead and read the file, and that is the file that is being saved right now. You can also change the magnitude to 4.5 for the past hour, and it'll go ahead and write it and read it again. So let's go ahead and actually take a look at this file. One feature I did actually before I move to that, I wanted to add in here, but I haven't got to it yet because I need to actually get the list view on the screen before I move to it, is country. So at the moment, I just got a little coming soon dialog that pops up. So let's go ahead and actually take a look at the files. This is actually being run with Mobizen, so it's actually on my own personal device, which is rooted. So I do have access to the system files. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and go into the system files. It's going to go ahead and ask for permission. So let's go down into the data files and go down towards my application, which should be around the bottom somewhere. Let's see. There it is right there. So we'll go ahead and open that up. We'll go ahead and look at the file. It's 1,000 bytes. I don't know if I'm going to be able to read it. I don't have anything installed on here yet. Yep, there we go. It was able to read it. So lower the keyboard there. So there's all the data that I want to go ahead and store. And we can also see, so that was 1,000 bits. So let's go ahead and reload my application and choose a little bit more earthquakes. So the past hour, all earthquakes. Once it's already written and saved, we can go back into my file explorer, go to files, and you can see that it did change the kilobytes. Should still be able to load that. Yep, no problem. So it is reading and writing properly. It is collecting the data properly. It is just not displaying it on my screen. Services versus async. I would have to say services I like a little bit more because the application actually continues to run. Where I found async tasks actually stop the application for a second until the data is collected. The only time I notice this is when I'm pulling, let's say, for example, the past 30 days of all earthquakes. That will actually stop the application completely for a good 5 to 10 seconds, and it would make the user think that the application crashed. It made me think several times that it crashed. Trying to put a progress bar on that didn't work out so well, as the application would freeze when it's doing this. Services, I do think I'm able to throw information back and forth. I'm able to do things while it is loading in the background. So I am looking forward to playing with services and actually putting my progress bar inside this application. I wouldn't have done anything different except for put a little bit more time towards my application. But next week I'll go ahead and get an early start. So hopefully I'll see you guys all next week.